Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today's session, Terminating EORs and ICs Legally, Offboarding Without Risk. I'm Theba, and today we're going to talk about something that isn't always fun, but is absolutely critical to get right. Offboarding employees and contractors when you're working internationally. For many of you, you are just starting this journey. Maybe you have your first EOR onboarded, congrats, or just a couple of contractors abroad, and that's really exciting. But it also means you're stepping into a very different legal environment than what you're used to at home. And when it comes to terminations, the risks are high if you don't handle them properly. Our goal today is to give you a clear understanding of what's required, what's risky, and how Deel helps you navigate this without headaches. Let's dive in. Why termination is a legal landmine. If you're in the US, many of you are familiar with at-will employment. Globally, that concept does not exist. In most countries, terminations are governed by strict labor laws. And if you misstep, risks include legal claims, compliance penalties, and/or reputational damage in small local talent markets. And this applies to both EOR employees and independent contractors. Even if you only have one or two abroad, it's important to get this right. So what do you need to know about terminating EOR employees? For EOR employees, Deel is the legal employer of record, but you still need to follow local laws. So here are some of the key considerations. Notice period, and these vary by country and role. Deel typically requires at least 30 days notice from you. Number 2, justification. Many countries require a valid reason, such as redundancy or performance issues, for that termination to take place. And number 3, documentation. Termination letters, waivers, and even government filings may be necessary, depending on where your EOR is residing. Deel manages compliance and paperwork, but we don't notify the employee of termination before Deel confirms the process. So let's talk about the best practices for offboarding EOR employees. Whether you are with Deel or not, start with Deel. Submit your offboarding request in the platform first. Expect statutory severance, and Deel will calculate this for you. Consider cultural norms. So some regions expect more severance than legally required. And if you want to learn a little bit more about severance, I have another webinar or video on severance. And lastly, use waivers and settlements. So offering small additional severance in exchange for a waiver or claim can reduce future risks for you. Let's talk about independent contractors and how to offboard them safely. Contractors may look simpler, but misclassification and poor offboarding can create issues. Best practice includes following the contract. Respect the notice period or termination clause. Give reasonable notice, even if it's not legally required. Document reasons. Protect against misclassification claims. Avoid employee-like treatment, so do not impose fixed hours or micromanage. And finally, the final payments. Deel supports full final payment. We calculate the amounts, if there is anything custom, and always pay promptly. There are some other key points. Deel does not share your reason for termination with the contractor, and contractors can be reactivated within 2 months if needed. I'm going to go through some termination complexities and the global differences that I think you need to know. What is simple? The US and the UK. They are simpler. What's moderate? Canada and India. And what's complex? Brazil, Germany, China. And you can ask me more questions about those countries and what these simple, moderate, and complex means. And you can also use Deel's offboarding assistant for localized guidance as well. So how do we support you? We provide risk-free offboarding, and that means we have country-specific compliance, we have clear workflows for EOR and IC terminations, we coordinate with local counsel, and tools such as the offboarding assistant and contractor management workflows will help with risk-free offboarding. So here are the key takeaways. Termination isn't universal. At will does not apply globally. For EORs, laws require notice, justification, and severance. For ICs, so independent contractors, follow the contract and document everything carefully. And lastly, Deel provides a compliance buffer for both employees of record and independent contractors. Handling offboarding is just as important as hiring. Doing the right thing keeps you compliant, protects your reputation, and helps you maintain strong relationships even when things don't work out. If you want to learn a little bit more about how Deel supports termination in specific countries, or if you're thinking ahead to scaling your team internationally, we'd love to talk to you and walk you through how the platform can help. So thank you for joining today, and I will be accepting questions via email.